Good evening, everybody. This is Jason, looking to do an introduction to the Kilohearts ecosystem by way of doing a patch build in Plant, one of their software synthesizers that they're probably best known for nowadays. Anyway, they had another one called KHS1, which is still out there. It's a pretty good synthesizer, but the one that people think about when they think of Kilohearts is Plant. So I'll just kind of get right into it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave a comment and I'll try to answer it. Alright, so one of the things you'll notice when you start up Plant is that nothing's there. And I think this is a good thing because really one of the reasons I got this particular synth is to create instead of, browse pre-built patches. I mean, you know, yeah, you have your patches or whatever, but that's not why I got the software. So really, let's get into it. One of the nice things about this is you have basically three sections. So you have your generators, your effects lanes, and then your modulators. And we'll touch all these particular areas here as we go along. So in regard to generators, we have the four types. We also have effects for that you can do audio rate modulation on, as well as some utilities. I won't cover everything. I'll just kind of talk about things as I build the patch, but just know that is very extensible. So for this patch, we're actually going to start out using a noise generator. Nothing too fancy. But with this noise generator, what we're going to do is something a little interesting. And what you'll notice too is that you have the actual generator, the oscillator, if you will, and then out here is actually considered, if you'll notice, a utility, but that's automatically created with the first oscillator that you create. But you can have multiple ones with multiple envelopes if you want. Anyway, neither here nor there. Right now, what we're looking for is just a real simple pulse, basically. From there, we're going to move over to lane 1 here. So as you can see, you have 3 individual lanes you can send to, each of them that you want, or none at all. And you can also disable the lanes that you don't think you're going to use if you so desire. Won't worry about that here, but so the first effect that we're going to do is we're actually going to use another plugin host called SnapHeap. Now, SnapHeap comes with their free collection. It previously actually couldn't be used up until version 1.8. Could not be used inside Plant here. But now, since the 1.8 update, SnapHeap can be used within SnapHeap itself, within Multipass. So it's really versatile with the 1.8 upgrade. It'll open up a lot of possibilities. We're actually going to be using those capabilities with this patch build. So what we're going to do is, by default, it's all serial. So lane 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 and then out. What we're going to do is we're actually going to make these all serial, and you'll see why here in a minute. So now that we have this, what we're going to do is we're going to add a resonator. Nothing fancy. As you can hear, it's not just noise. There's a little bit of a pitch to it. Now, one thing to keep in mind too is that with resonator, the decay is based is predicated on this setting right here. So currently it's 43 milliseconds. And it doesn't matter how long you hold it for, that's what the decay is going to be. Actually, it sounds like the noise was still coming through, so. Alright. So, that's super and all. But you can't see my keyboard, but I'm playing different keys. We're keeping the same pitch. So how can we change this? Well, it's actually pretty easy. Go up to MIDI, note. We're going to use the note as a modulation source. And then so what we're going to do here is we're going to set this to 100%. Hey, now we can get some, altering pitches or whatever. However, what you'll notice is, we try playing a chord. We're not getting that. Here's what we need to do. Go back here to the lanes and we click this poly button. And what that does basically is it runs each individual note through the lane individually, if that makes sense. Clearly I can talk well. So now if we try playing a chord, you can actually hear it because it's getting processed individually. So what we're going to do, let's go back and let's there we go. Let's just turn up the decay so it sticks around for a while. And now that we have the bass here, let's say we want to make it easy to adjust the decay just for this single note. So what we're going to do is go to macro here. We'll just call this res decay. And we'll do about a 51% thing here. So now that's modulating it based on starting value. So we're going to go down here so we have a little more range. All right, great. Now, let's say we wanted to go back in here again. We'll turn this all the way down. Let's say we want to modulate that from a control surface. For example, I have a chord now at control 2. What we're going to do here is we'll just call this res decay. And since it's basically one macro knob controlling another, we'll just do straight 100%. Now, right click. Now you'll see I already have it set, but just to demonstrate, because it does remember the CC associations to the macro knobs here. But so first time, we'll just click that, click to bind. It'll ask me to move the controller. I do it. And there we go. I can now control it right from the controller. Nothing fancy. Soft synths have that capability all over the place. But so this is great. We have kind of a interesting sound here. Let's kind of fill it out a little bit more though. So we're going to take this, holding down the control key, you can copy the snap-ins. Now before I do that, just do this. let's say we want to give it a beefier sound, so we're going to bring this down to A3. And we can see the effect this has by disabling that snap in. And we're clipping out. And real quick too, one of the things too is you can adjust the output level of the individual oscillators, which in this case does actually affect the resonator. Alright, there we go. So going back, you'll see that we can resonate on all harmonics or just the odd harmonics. So what we're going to do here is we'll just copy this over here, and this over here. And you'll also notice that it does copy the modulations as well from the original. So that's kind of handy. So as we move things, you'll see them adjust. So now that we have these two extra sets, and we're just going to resonate on the odd. Alright. Interesting sound, but let's use a couple more snap-ins and tools provided by Kilohearts to shape up the sound a little bit more. And use the modulator. So one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to pull out Slice EQ. This is one of their premium plugins. Highly recommend this. I love this EQ. I use it all the time. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but right now basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of use it to throw a, just kind of a 2-pole low cut. Basically opens up a little headroom on the low end there. And then after that, we're going to add a filter. Well, that's no fun, because it's kind of muted and whatever. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a modulator. We're going to add some variety. What we're going to do is we're going to base the cutoff and the resonance, the Q value there, based on the velocity. Actually, we're going to start this up around 1 point. .6 for the baseline. One of the things too is if you really need to fine tune something, you can just right click on the value and set it that way. So as you can see over here, the velocity is changing, but kind of like earlier, what you notice is the actual filter settings are applying to all the keys. Again, we'll just turn poly on, and then now you can hear that higher note. The filter is really opened up and a little bit more resonance was added. So really, I like I said, relatively simple introduction. I just kind of wanted to give a use a patch build as a way to demonstrate what the ecosystem can do, and I only scratched the surface. And actually, really, what we could do is this right here. Let's do this. Unfortunately, this laptop does not have the greatest resolution, so don't have a whole lot of real estate. Great. So let's, for giggles, let's add something else. Um, what we'll do actually is we'll just create a new group, and then we'll add a wavetable. We'll just mute that out. Oh, yeah, that's why I was going through lane 1, so I was trying to resonate that in bad juju. There we go. Everyone loves unison. Now we'll just keep that dry and we'll just listen to the two of these. So again, we have a lot of capabilities, uh, whether it's simple or getting a little more complex. A lot of capabilities with this particular soft synth. Really glad I found it. Um, it was actually I found out about by way of an artist called Volcor X. Uh, really glad because it's given me a lot of capabilities for sound design. Um, so now that we did this, you might be wondering how much it costs here. So the way the things work, and I am not getting a dime from Kilohearts. This is just me espousing my support for this because I think it's an awesome product. So basically, they have the free, so you get the snap heap, which you saw, and a couple of the snap-ins, which you can also load separately into your DAW as well if you want as VST. Um, it ranges, for free, $99, $249, and that includes all the snap-ins, and then the ultimate, which is $499, includes phase plant and the other premium plugins, including Slice EQ, which again I use that all the time. Multipass, that's a really interesting one because they'll actually do band splitting. But here's the thing: you see $499, you think, "Wow, that's a big investment." Yes, I I completely understand, but this is actually what I use, and there's also a 10-day trial as well too. So give I highly recommend giving that a shot. But if you decide you like it, they do have a subscription now. Normally, I wouldn't. I don't do subscriptions normally. The difference with this one is that every 12 months that you subscribe, you get $100 credit that will accumulate. So if you go for 2 years, you have a $200 credit that you can use to then buy the toolbox outright if you want. Um, so ultimately, and then with the subscription, you also get access to the latest stuff. So, for example, with one of the latest releases, they came out with a new snap-in called the Dynamic Snap-in. If you bought the Ultimate Toolbox, you would have had to buy the new snap-in separately, but it would be a discount anyway. You get a discount, as you buy stuff for being a customer already. But so this includes that. So ultimately, really, for what you're looking at is $20 a year premium, to have access to the latest stuff while you get those credits. To me, that wasn't a bad deal at all. So that's why I'm opting for the subscription for a couple of years, and then I'll probably buy the Ultimate Toolbox and then just keep buying the updated snap-ins as they come out. Anyway, I hope this video was interesting, informative. Maybe you've heard of Kilohearts, maybe you haven't. But hope that this kind of shows just some of the capabilities that it can do. Um, Again, I'll drop some links. Actually, the other nice thing about Kilohearts is they do have a Discord server. I'll drop a link down below in the comment or in the description. Uh, one of the big things why I like the company is uh, the devs are actually fairly responsive, all things considered, on there. So if you have a question, you find a bug, feature request, stuff like that, they generally respond. So, um, yeah, I hope this was helpful for someone. And again, any questions, leave a comment. Thanks.